Hello, my very dear Aries. So, the image that I have of you as I'm preparing this reading for August 4th is I see you standing on a hill looking at the place around you, but it's like you're just standing there and it's like you're shaking your head like, whew. And now you're seeing things. It's like you're clearing your head and you're seeing things clearly for the first time, or for the first time in a long time. And then I was reminded of something my sister said to me many years ago, after I'd broken up from a relationship-ish situationship. And I remember I said, oh my God, what was I thinking? I feel like all that time I was in the twilight zone. And she said, no, honey, you were in the toilet zone and now it's time to flush. And I always thought, how perfect is that? So I'm asking you, Aries, is it time to flush? And as I'm looking at this, I'm going, I think it might be. Now, of course, this is not for every Aries, and it won't be relevant necessarily to a personal romantic situation. But what I'm getting in these cards is very congruent with the image that I had of you going like this, and also that thing for my sister's like, okay, it's time to let things go. What do you get? You get drop the weight. You get it's a new day. You get loss or liberation, and you get remorse is only a form of spiritual pride. And I'm going, whoa! And then you get forgiveness. So I'm looking at all of this and I'm going, that's the feeling that I get with you, Aries, is that whatever you have been sorting through, whatever you've been trying to make sense of in your head, whatever you've been trying to work through, and I feel literally as I'm saying that, like there's a piece here and a piece here and a piece here and a piece here, and you're trying to figure out how to fit it all together. What I feel like now is that whatever you were doing to try to get all those pieces to fit, to make sense and create whatever your life was going to look like in a way that worked for you and all these other pieces, is that I feel as though in some ways you've almost dropped that. And now you're standing on the hill and you're going, no, okay, me, what about me? And not in an arrogant way and not in an angry way. It really feels as though it's with this sense of having risen above the detail that was in some ways maybe pulling you down or acting as a kind of veil to what you could do, where you could go. So it's a quality of energy that was pulling you down more onto this level in a way that did not necessarily allow you to be guided by higher influence. I feel now that you were at that place where you can. Now, it doesn't mean, even though I use the image or the statement, and now it's time to flush, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be getting rid of people in your life. It might mean that you are now in a place where you can look around and you can let go of things that before maybe you couldn't let go of. You felt like it was your responsibility to factor in all of these different things. But what you're being told here is neutrality is the way to go right now. So this is not about being angry, being vicious, being deeply passionate, actually, in any way. It's moving towards the center. So what is neutrality? In energy, it's not negative, it's not positive. The neutral zone, and this is what I'm getting as a reference point for this card right now for you, is in polarity therapy and working with energy, we look at the neutral as being the ultrasonic core, the core energy that runs down through the spine, which then gets distributed and modulated into different frequencies through the different chakras, which support different emotions and different parts of the body, the physiology. But beyond that, that is the pure energy. That is the energy from source that allows you to gain not just the energy that you need to run your psyche and your physiology, but also where you're able to get inspiration. There is another me watching me That is the reminder that today, no matter what emotion you're feeling, physical sensation you're experiencing, or event you're experiencing through your personality, remember and state silently, there is another part of me that is untouched and unaffected by this. There is a me watching me, and that's where your real power is. This, I feel as though you are really discovering where your real power is. You don't need to try to control and manage everything on the earth plane, all your table and chair realities, all of everybody's problems and situations. There is another you watching you that is above, embraces the personality part of you that's had all of this work to do and all of this organization and potential chaos. I'm just saying, I didn't know I was going to say chaos, but potential chaos. There is another part of you. And I feel like some of you, for those for whom this is relevant, the image of you coming up onto that hill and looking out into this beautiful green countryside and shaking your head free of all those old thoughts, it aligns with that feeling of it's a new day. Drop the weight, dropping the weight, dropping the stressors, identifying them and letting them go, and taking on this neutral position from which you can understand that there is more wisdom out there than just you. You don't always know what it is, but you can lean into that. Get out of resistance and into flow. When you find yourself coming up against something that is creating a lot of resistance for you, it might be telling you it's time to drop the weight, the stressors, the weight of emotional stress. It might be telling you it's time for a new day, but it also might be something that tells you one of the ways to do that is to go into neutral stance and to acknowledge that there is another part of you that is not affected by that powerful, wise part of you that can give you guidance from that higher source, from that neutral core, that pure, powerful energy. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, Aries. This, to me, feels like you're really, really stepping into, I almost want to say, a new identification based in a very different kind of power. And I also want to say with a clarity of thought and a clarity of feeling that is coming out of a neutrality and a calm and not out of passionate emotions that are tossing you around. I think this is beautiful, Aries. And I'm going to leave you with that. Take care.